Just yesterday, I made a mistake of eating a lot of sweets, a lot of donuts. Even though I made a promise to myself that I would stop eating sweets for 3 months because I was committing myself to a full meat and eggs diet. I resolved to make that commitment to myself for my own personal reasons. And just yesterday, I had broken that commitment. Here's another story. There was also a point during these past few weeks where I broke my commitment to not wanking my dick off, to stop consuming sexual content. I had broken that commitment. These past few weeks, there were points where I had broken that commitment. Do I regret my decisions? Fuck yeah, I do. Can I take those decisions back? No. It already happened. There was a time in my life when decisions like these would make me overthink, would make me ruminate over what I had done. The regret that I would feel would overwhelm me. And at some point, that decision that I regretted making would turn into an excuse to indulge once more, even though I had already created those commitments for myself under the reasoning that I already did it. What's one more? I hated the decision that I made. I regret it. And I know for a fact that there are decisions in your life that you made, that you've regretted. And it came down to the same pattern as mine, where you ended up breaking your commitments because of that decision. In this video, I'm going to teach you what process I now go through to help me when I would make these mistakes, to not let these mistakes culminate into a worse stockpile of decisions. So step one, you need to first start to take a step away from that thought. You need to take a step back from the thoughts that you are thinking. You need to start to take deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And keep taking those deep breaths every time you would feel overwhelmed. What this does is it helps to calm you down. Because in the midst of that rumination, in the midst of all that emotion culminating inside of your body, there is no logic. You might think there is because there are thoughts that are popping inside of your head, but there is no logic. Too much emotion. And when too much emotion is present, you tend to make decisions based on how you feel, which is what leads up to when you would indulge more and break your commitment more. So you need to start to take a step away, take a step back, and breathe in and out. Calm yourself. calm yourself down so you can think logically. You have to understand that what you did, the decision that you made, was a mistake, right? It was a mistake. Don't let it culminate into anything else other than what it is. Don't associate any superficial meaning with that decision. I remember when I would make mistakes like these, I would like create a superficial meaning, which is basically just creating a sort of divine or an out of this world theory that somehow, some way, because of that decision was somehow, some way a result of the universe going up against me, or some unknown force that would try to stop me, because somehow, some way I wasn't meant for that kind of life. Somehow, some way I wasn't meant to be great at all. Or maybe somehow, some way God, even God himself, made it so that I wasn't meant for that kind of life at all. And that couldn't have been farther from the truth. I was just being a bitch. I was just being a fucking retard and creating these superficial beliefs under the guise, like, I was just making an excuse. It was just a fucking excuse. You made a mistake. That's just it. You made a mistake. Did that decision change your desire to those commitments? Be fucking honest. Remove any negativity. Remove any doubts that you have for yourself. And just tell me, through your own desires, through what you want to do, did that decision change the commitments that you want to have with your life? Did that decision change the commitments that you made for yourself? Because chances are no. Chances are no. It didn't make a change. In fact, it's still the fucking same. You still want that same thing. You still want to have that same commitment for yourself. The worst thing that can happen to you when you make a mistake is you let it stockpile into more mistakes. If you let that decision transform into an excuse to try to tell yourself off, to try to convince you, or to try to convince yourself that somehow, some way, it's okay for you to just flop over, to just give up, to just let reality have its way with you, or oh, I'm just not meant for this kind of life. Oh, what the fuck am I doing? Oh my god, like woe is me. Like, if you beat yourself up over that decision instead of moving on, eventually that thought process, it will consume you. It will consume you, and it will result in your own failure. It will result in you making more mistakes. It will result in you breaking your commitment to yourself because you allowed that mistake to ruminate and to culminate into an excuse, to allow yourself to indulge, to allow yourself to break your commitments. You have to understand, when you make mistakes, when you make a decision that you regret, we look into what resulted in that decision. We look into what you did or what we did that led up to that decision. But at the end of the day, the right kind of mindset is to think of it as nothing more than a mistake, to think of it as nothing more than a decision that's just unsightly. The next step to this process that I undergo through is to move on. Stop thinking negatively and to start thinking right. What the fuck does that mean? So, whenever I would make these mistakes, whenever I would make these decisions that I regret, I would always just bombard myself. I would always just overwhelm myself with a lot of negative thinking, that would support the mistake that I had made, that would give power, give like energy to the mistake that I made, that would help it to transform into something far stronger. And I'm telling you, holy fuck, I was so stupid for that. Holy fuck, I shouldn't have done that. When you make a mistake, move on. Like, besides trying to understand what led up to that mistake, besides trying to learn from your mistakes, basically, you have to understand that thinking negatively won't get you anywhere. In fact, thinking negatively will actually fuck you over. It will actually, like, one of the reasons, like, the main fucking reason why we make that excuse, the main fucking reason why that mistake culminates into a stockpile of even more mistakes, is because you allow for those negative thoughts to ruminate. So, what do we do as a response? What do we do instead? We need to start thinking right. What that means is basically you focus on your day, you focus on the things that you need to do, and when those thoughts arise, you breathe in and out, and you start to think of thoughts of conquering your day, of how you're going to do so well, of how you're going to like do your work amazingly, like how you're going to do your work with such productivity. Like, I think that when you go about your day in this mood, in this type of energy, where you stay away from that negativity, and you almost in a delusional sense proper funnel thoughts that would just fucking make you feel like a winner, thoughts that would just like make you feel like yeah, I am gonna win. Yeah, I am gonna conquer. Yeah, holy fuck, let's get it. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited for this. So, how I would do this is basically when that decision would come, like, okay, what led up to that mistake? Okay, I understand that this happened. That's why I made this mistake. Alright, I'm gonna move on from it. What do I need to do next? Like, what do I need to do in my day? And I would look at my calendar, I would look at my schedule, and I would look at the things that I need to do, right? And I was like, okay, I need to feed and clean our dogs next. Okay, that's what I need to do next. Alright, so if that's what I need to do next, like, okay, I gotta plan this out, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I would just like focus myself into the process. Like, I would focus myself into the process of my work, into what I had planned out for that day. And whenever these thoughts would arise, I would just say, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna win this. Let's go. Let's get it. I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna feed and clean the dogs. I'm gonna focus on what I'm doing, and then I'm going to take a bath, and then I would go and I'm going to do this, and it's just gonna be so fucking amazing. I'm gonna fucking win. I'm just gonna go, it's just so exciting. Let's just get it. Let's conquer. Let's win. Like, I would just think actively on the things that I needed to do, the process of doing that thing, and then what was next. And when these thoughts would arise, I would beat it fucking down. Like, I would beat it down. I would tell it off. I would tell it to shut the fuck up. And I would focus on how I was going to win that task, how I was going to conquer that task, how I was going to just absolutely obliterate and make that task so fucking good, like do that task so fucking good. And eventually I'd fucking forget it. Eventually I'd forget what I did. And I would just be solely focused on my work and what I needed to do. TLDR is you breathe in and out, you take a step back, You breathe in and out. You understand that what you've made is a mistake. You understand that it did not change the commitments that you've made for yourself. It did not change the kind of guy that you are. Like, no fucking superficial meaning here. It's just you. It's just who you are. And then you figure out what that problem is. You figure out why that mistake had occurred. You move on. You focus yourself on what you need to do. You focus yourself on the tasks that you need to do. You focus yourself on the process. And whenever these thoughts try to sneak itself in, whenever these thoughts try to like sneak back into your head, you tell it off. You tell it off. You tell it to fuck off. Fuck you. You be aggressive with those thoughts. You have to be aggressive with these thoughts, by the way. Like, you be aggressive with those thoughts. You tell it off. Like, you scream at it inside of your head. Like, fuck off. Fuck you. No. Shut the fuck up. No. Shut the fuck up, you bitch. No. And then you focus on the process. You focus on winning that process. You focus on conquering. You focus on how you're going to absolutely just make that task yours. Like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna win this. Like, holy shit, I'm gonna do this so well. Like, after I do this, I'm then going to start editing my videos. Oh, after, like, because I'm a YouTuber, right? This is my thought process. Like, after I go and shoot my video, I'm going to edit my video. It's gonna be so fucking good. Like, I'm gonna be like, this is gonna be like something that my audience would just absolutely love. Like, let's go, let's get it. And I'll just focus myself on winning. Focus myself into the process. Focus myself on winning until eventually those thoughts disappear. Like, sure, every now and then they like try to sneak themselves back in. But remember the lesson. You beat it down. You beat it down. You speak in conquest. You speak in fucking winning. You speak how you're going to do your absolute best. And that thought, like, you tell it off. You tell it to shut the fuck up, and you just how you're going to obliterate what you're going to do, like how you're going to absolutely just win your tasks, and then you focus on the process. That's what I do to help me deal with a decision that I regret making, with a mistake that I've made. If you found this video helpful in any way, then you might want to check out the top link in the description. I have made a community where my main focus is to teach consistency, to teach the process of consistency, how one gets consistent. I have learned for the past 5 years a lot of mental lessons, a lot of mindset shifts, a lot of tools like productivity tools, as well as different applications such as curating a proper schedule, such as creating a timetable and doing the 80-20 rule with my tasks. Like, just a lot of lessons to help with one goal, the goal of becoming consistent. So if you struggle with consistency, if you struggle with making commitments and making those commitments stick, then go check out the top link in the description, where I'll basically teach you how to make it stick, like how to become consistent. If you found this video helpful as well, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe, so you have like more content like this pushed out. Like, I make videos like this for free, and comment down below so that more people get recommended my videos and I can help out more people. Keep moving forward, no matter how hopeless it seems. Bye bye.